4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom, do it. Hey, fellas, thanks so much for coming on Northern Vibe.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, it's good.
Nah, you blokes are dead set. Now that everything's rolling, I'm going to humiliate you on air. You blokes are dead set legends. It's kind of cool having you up here. Like, I've got this series. Well, I kind of call it the series, and I've got a name on YouTube and all that, but it's Among Us. And the reason I call it that, fellas, is because there are all these dead set amazing people, like fair income, living in Cairns, and just doing amazing things. Like, obviously there's you two guys, and I know you guys have liked and followed Northern Vibe, actually, so thanks very much. And to other people out there do the same. But, you see all these people, like Trace Hannah comes to mind, where, this 7 times world downhill mountain bike champion, Olympians, you got Joyce Lester, all of these people just living here in Cairns among us, So it's just kind of, it's dead set cool.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think, I just see myself as the average local midget, and Herb doesn't, well, he's not a midget, but average local coach, maybe.
I'm the only 6'2" coach living in the shadow of a midget.
Oh, yeah. We're going to bring out a book, 1.5 Men.
Yeah, loose cannons, both of you. But look, I suppose I'll make a comment, and then I'll get both of you to comment on this, because your story really is an amazing one of a relationship that's kind of like that's got you together, and you've both achieved. Like, it's not just the way I frame it. It's not just Herbie helped Grant to achieve. It's like Herbie, you've achieved in your specific area, which is coaching. But like the whole thing about this is, again, the inspirational part of the Among Us. Oh, sorry, the part of the Among Us thing is the fact that it's inspirational. People love it, eh? So if a person puts their mind, and this is the comment, onto something and are willing to make sacrifices, endure failure and suffering, there really isn't much they can't achieve. True or false? And what do you think?
True.
Definitely true. Yeah. I mean, look, no one puts up with more crap or more sacrifices or more pain or whatever than what Scoot does. And for what he's achieved is pretty amazing. And I'm just lucky enough to be part of that journey with him and helped him and guide him along a little bit. And I'm just privileged to be part of it. But Scoot's done most of, obviously, all the work. I just whip him and get him into shape and make it happen.
Yeah.
Matt, me and Herb have been together now for 15 years, which is longer than the average married couple. So we've definitely put in a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment. And we're both single, but we know what it's like to be married.
and mate, for some offences, that's actually a life sentence. So if you blokes had to stab each other to death, you'd be out of the bin by now, or at least on parole. Your average murderer in Queensland only does six years, and the smallest I've seen personally when I was in the job was like a bloke did a year in the bin for a murder.
If caught, yeah.
Yeah, caught. Oh, yeah. Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah, Eliana. Yeah, you're right. That's my daughter, Eliana. G'day, sweetheart. No, it's okay.
Hello, Eliana.
Come say g'day. It's Mr. All right, so she's run away.
She's shy.
Yeah, oh no, but running on the inspirational kind of thing, and I know I mentioned this last time in our interview. Actually, no, we'll stay with the relationship thing because it's kind of true. Like, it really is like a marriage, and there must have been times where, as much as your mates and you sledge the hell out of each other, which is healthy, there must be times where you get the tom tits with each other. You know what I mean? Like, how do you maintain the relationship?
When we room now, we have separate rooms.
Yeah.
I'll tell a story. I think it's like one of our first swimming trips back in like 2008 or something. We were at the Novotel, and it's this is before we had more money. We're on shrapnel back then. But we're at the Novotel, and we had 2 single beds together, not together, but apart. And I remember I was off going to sleep, and Herb was reading his book, and we both had a barney. But after that, we then had separate rooms.
Yeah. Scoot didn't want the light on, and I wanted to read for a while. I think, yeah. But now, in all honesty, we've had a few disagreements, but there's nothing that's ever been really serious. I mean, I think we just respect each other, and he'll just he might fire up, and I might just walk away usually. So there's never been any major issues, which is quite unusual for a marriage anyway. So
life's too short to worry about. Like, look how short I am.
Yeah,
no shortness left.
Yeah. So we've never had any real barneys like that or real disagreements, especially when it comes to the swimming side of it. Normally it's about something totally different, but it's about the swimming side of it. Then we're on the same page. So
yeah.
Well, see, but it's the little things, though. I mean, if you think of what it's like in a marriage, like, the last time that my wife threatened to stab me through the heart with a broken pencil was over something really. It's like, it's over really simple stuff. I think it was the dishwasher.
Well, our relationship, we live in different houses, so yeah, we're good.
Yeah, well, we're miles away, but we don't, and we say it all the time, we don't live in each other's pockets, I mean, Scoot could probably fit in mine, but we don't live in each other's pockets, so it's not as if we're with each other all the time. We might go out for dinner once a month or catch up at a party once a month or something like that, but it's not as if we're, doing everything together, because we do spend, good probably 16, 17, 18 hours a week at the pool together anyway, and normally the start of that's just a bit of a joke and a muck around, then we get stuck into work sort of thing.
Well, and it is. It's hard yakka in the pool, but how do you balance? So, Scoot, with your pretty serious injuries, and I know we covered it last interview, but I'll get you to, not injuries, but your condition. I'll get you to run over stuff. After
I lost my arms. Help!
I'll grab back.
But like, there's got to be a time where it's like, hey, because you got to get this balance between, all right, got to push, but you got to know when to stop so that you're not pushing too hard and you're not causing injury, which can actually happen, and more importantly, maintaining the passion. Because if you really hate it, like if you just end up hating the sport, you can't do it. But how do you get that balance?
You're talking about my inner mongrel. Well, it's funny you say that. The last probably 4 months, I actually did have a bit of an injury in my back. I was wondering how you knew that, but yeah. But I've had to tame that mongrel down and obviously talk to Herb and have a physio on board and my PT, and obviously we all talk. And, if something's really bad, well, I have to let all of them know, because they all know that I don't say no for nothing and I don't have sessions off for nothing. So I'm always there, 158%.
Yeah.
But I had this niggling injury in my back because I let the bench press bar hit my chest. But it was really bad. And so I actually had probably 3 days off. And then I didn't rest properly enough. And then probably 4 days later, I went and did the whippersnipping, and I was on uneven ground, and I did the same thing. So this time I had a bit more off, and just I came back into swimming and gym a lot slower. And then obviously at work I changed. I did a few things. I'm good now, but yeah, just when you get older, you don't recover as quick as you used to. And obviously I'm aiming for Paris next year, and I've talked to Herb and Karina about going to 2032. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but if I do, well, it's definitely not a sprint. It's an endurance race. So, slow and steady wins the race.
So, mate, 2024, and you're in full training for that. What are you aiming for? Which events?
Well, the same ones as the Tokyo, 50 breaststroke, and then the 150 individual medley. But obviously aiming to do better than last time. So, yeah, just working hard in the pool with Herbie, pushing heaps of weight with Karina at the gym. And then obviously, what you were talking about before, how do I keep my sanity, like work-life training balance? It is very hard, but I've had a lot of years now of practice. Obviously, I go to the pool. That's where I give it 110%. Go to work, fall asleep. And then obviously on the weekends, like right now, I'm talking to you. But after that, I'll just sit on the couch probably for the rest of the afternoon and chill out and recover, because for me to go again flat biscuit Monday morning, you need to be rested. And if you don't, well, you pay the price.
Yeah. And I think as you're getting older and we're sort of managing it a little bit, I think Scoot's grown up a little bit in that regard as well, and realizing that he can't keep doing what he was doing all the time, and you know, some of the best ways to recover is to rest and to back off, and that's where, you know, the program just needs to be managed a little bit, and we discuss it regularly about, you know, what we need to do and how we need to change it and how he is on each session as to, you know, whether we push through and do the session that we need to do, or, you know, back off a little bit and do a float one. So it's just managing it.
Yeah.
And that's where we work well together, because we just discuss it, and, you know, and I know he's not going to, you know, bullshit us. So we're going to get the result we want just by communicating.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it too. Like, it's, you have to know your limits, because I do know some people who push too hard. I helped, this is going back a few years ago now. There was this, there was someone who was kind of like, oh, you know, I really want to get into some training. You know, I want to join the police. Can you help me? Because there's a couple of things we do with the dummy drags. I mean, anyone can go for a run. Like, you don't need me for that. It's like, yeah, dude, go run 2.4K. Do it under this time. Like, off you go. But there's some of the few of the other things, like you got to drag a dummy, you got to do these other things. So I kind of helped them with that. And this person actually pushed too hard to start off with, and ended up getting all of these injuries. You know, because they just jumped in, and like you said, Scoot, mate, they were like dead set tired, dead set just smashed, and because they didn't allow themselves to recover.
Yep. Yeah. And that's where a lot of triathletes fall in holes, because they just keep training, and then they just don't have that time to recover and adapt, and then to be able to go again. They just keep going. You know, and this is where we just have to manage that.
Yeah, Brad Bevan said that too. Part of his training was not training.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the exact word. Yeah, you know, he's another dead set legend. So look, you know, what we'll do now is just to give some context to the few people who don't know who you are, Grant. Is to first, I'm just going to read out some of your medal tally so far, and I'll need you to correct me if it's wrong. So you've been competing since 2007. You've been on 8 national teams, and I think your medal tally so far is 2009 Arafura Games, 2 gold, 1 bronze. 2010 Berlin International Championships, 2 gold, 1 silver. 2011 Pan Pacific Championships, 7 medals. I won't do the breakdown; it'll take too long. 2013 IPC Swimming World Championships, Montreal, a silver and 2 bronze. 2015 IPC Swimming World Championships, silver.
Oh, stop there 1 sec. Back to Montreal. It's a good story. It should have been 1 silver and 3 bronze, but one silver and 3 more. Well, an extra medal, but I had the 200 freestyle.
Yeah.
And this is a good story. And I was, I don't know, 4th or 3rd in the heat or something like that. And I was looking forward to it because I did a good time in the heat. Anyway, the manager at the time made the biggest stuff up of their life. And when you go to finals at IPC or Paralympics, you must be 20 minutes early before the race. And if you're 1 minute or 5 seconds late, you don't get to swim. You're out. Anyway, I was prepped, ready, warmed up, done all that crap. I was ready to walk over. And then the manager said, oh, no, you're early. Just wait a bit. And I was like, oh, are you sure? Well, you know, the race is about to go. I'm pretty sure we need to go over. Because I had my physio with me. He carries my strap or whatever it is. And then obviously I take myself. We were ready to go. And she held us back. Anyway, when we eventually got over there, after we waited, they said, oh, no, sorry, you're too late. You missed out. I was beside myself. That manager at the time, they got a speaking to. But yeah, so that was a funny story in Montreal. And I was pretty disappointed because I really liked 200 freestyle.
And, mate, they didn't go, so the misunderstanding wasn't fixed. Like, you didn't swim. That is it, the end.
Yep, the end. So yeah, I missed out.
Oh, crikey, that's a bit rough.
Yeah, if you don't want someone in the final, you just get someone to trip them up so they don't get there in time.
There's probably a medal opportunity missed too, wasn't it?
well, that's part of sporting world.
But yeah, oh mate, you got more. Anyway, look,
But
you
yeah,
got
no,
that box.
it's just a good story.
It's what you. 2015 IPC Swimming World Champs, and of course 2 bronze in Tokyo. Oh, sorry, and of course 2 in Tokyo, a bronze and a silver. Look, mate, you've got that much bloody precious metal at your place, at your house. I'm kind of surprised you don't have Smaug the dragon sitting there over your house. Like,
yeah, it's probably smell the dragon coming out the toilet. Funny that smell. Oh me.
But so with the paying it forward thing too, you pair of loose cannons, mate, and this is actually, yeah, I will ask this one. I will ask this one now.
Mate,
So you're also pretty good mates, and we raised this in the last interview with Ahmed Kelly. In fact, he saw you in the 2008 swimming trials, and he's a legend, and he saw you and thought, this could be something I could do. Herb, you've coached and inspired Grant, who inspired Ahmed. Let's talk about paying it forward. Let's talking about this web of inspiration. Let's talk about how that works and how it makes you feel and all that kind of stuff.
I don't think you'd think about it at the time. I think you just, being involved. I said to your last interview that I've been involved with Scoot since 2003 or 2 or something like that, back years ago. So we just sort of been known each other and that sort of thing. And then with Ahmed watching Scoot, I didn't even know that story, so I didn't know that's what's inspired Scoot to start, for Ahmed to start swimming. So that's pretty cool, and he's doing really well in his own right now. So, but if we can inspire anyone, anyone for any sport, or even if it's not sport, just to be out in the workforce or be decent human beings, then that's what we should be doing anyway as humans, I think. So I don't think it's you don't even look at paying it forward as such. It's just something that you do. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, when I do a lot of talking, I preach.
You do a lot of talking.
Yeah.
It's getting to shut up. That's the issue sometimes.
Yeah. I always preach about, everyone, if you want to get somewhere in life, you need to get off your ass and make choices, smart choices on what you want out of life. And to get to your end goal, it's totally up to you on, what you decide to do. But I think by me doing certain things in life, me sharing my stories, I really do understand. I didn't at first, but obviously now, me being a motivational speaker, I understand how it helps and inspires and motivates other people to, if Grant went and did that Ironman, or Grant went to the Paralympics, blah, 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 maybe I can go take up painting lessons, or maybe I can go fly a helicopter, or maybe I can go dancing, So I like how I've got that sort of unique gift to help people rethink about what they're doing in life and maybe help them go chase their full potential.
So to give people the context and understanding, can you run through your list of, all the stuff that qualifies you for the Paralympics? Because it's kind of like a bit of a long list.
Yeah. Okay. So you mean like for trials next year?
No. Like what's your condition? It's arthritis, isn't it?
No. What's wrong with me? That's what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, how long have you got?
Well, it's actually a tragic story. When I was 18 months old, I was playing around in a dirty washing basket, and my mum come along and picked up the washing and put it in the washing machine, and out I come, midget. And then my parents had another sibling 4 years later, and instead of using black and gold, they used Cold Power Plus, and he'd come out normal. So, now I have a rare form of dwarfism called dystrophic dysplasia, which is a 1 in a million chance of 2 people meeting and having a baby like me. So I always tell everyone that my parents' chances of winning the lottery are gone because they got me instead.
Yeah.
So unlucky.
But
yes.
Herbie, you said that. Sorry, go ahead, mate.
Oh, you want me to talk about the swimming classification?
Please.
So from S1, so you got physical impairments. S1, S10 is physical impairment. S1 might swim with their head, and then S10 might be missing half a hand or half a foot or something. Myself, I'm an SB2 for breaststroke, and then S3 and SM3 for freestyle backstroke and individual medley.
Right. Okay.
And like, you got your normal dwarf, normal midget, whatever you want to call them, that can walk, they'll be an S6. But because I got stuck in the washing machine when I was a baby, I'm worse. Well, a lower classification.
And that's your functional disability. Then you go up from there with 11, 12 and 13 are all vision impairments, and 14's intellectual, 15's hearing, and blah, blah. It just keeps going up until you get to 18, I think now. 18's...
You just make up whatever you want, yeah.
Yeah, redheads, and then 19's autistic, and yeah, so that sort of brought a few others in now. But at the Paralympic level, it goes up to S14, which is intellectually impaired.
Bipolar is S20.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I had a kid that said, you're going to be autistic and you're going to be an S19. He said, it can't be an S19. It has to be an even number. It has to be an S20.
But Herb, you said this about Patterson. You said, look, he's one of the toughest, fittest, mentally toughest kids I've ever coached. You're in your 30s, Grant, and you're still a kid.
Yeah, I'm still the same size.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah. You've got this, you're a warrior. But and look, that's kind of like, I'm sorry to embarrass you, but well, I'm not actually. I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry to embarrass you bastards. But look, you kind of have achieved stuff. Mate, where do you get this mental toughness from? Like, where's that?
When I started in 2000 to 2002, did it for 2 years. Herbie was the assistant coach back then. Adam Luston was the head coach.
You'd be a happy boy, mate, with the Pies winning last night. Adam would be over the moon.
I got my game tonight.
Yeah, I can tell by the jumper in the background.
Yeah, you see that? Give him a bit of a plug.
I'll see you leaning to the side. Yeah, promotion.
But, and then, so in those small 2 years from 2002, I had short, mid-term, long-term goals. Long-term goal was to represent Australia at the Paralympics. Those dreams probably, you'd say, got put on hold. 2002 to 2007, I looked like Jabba the Hutt of Star Wars, little fat little pudding. Well, you call me dumpling? Hey, dumpling. And then I ran into Herbie at his party, probably his 40th or something, a long time ago. And I was a fat little dumpling in his lounge chair. And I remember a few of the old kids from 2000 were there, and we were talking about, get back into training and swimming and all that crap. And at first I was like, nah, fuck no, it's too many early mornings at 5 a.m., blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Anyway, when I finished high school, so this is finished in 06, 2007, I said to myself, I need to lose some weight. I look disgusting. I can hide a cake of soap under my belly. It's fucked. So I got back in the pool and just doing 1 or 2 sessions a week by myself. And then that's when I ran into Herbie later in the year. And then, I went home and thought about it. And then I said, maybe I should have a crack. And the following year, 2008, was the Beijing Paralympic trials.
Yeah.
And I remember me and Herbie talking to the old head coach back then, Brendan Keogh, and said, is there any point of me and Herb coming down to the trials next year? Is it worth it? He said, you might not make the team, but it'd be good to, see if you're interested and obviously get a feel of what it's all about again. So obviously we went along and I missed out by 1.5 seconds. Herbie and I come back to Cairns and, we had a team meeting and talked about what happened and where we could do better. But the main information we talked about was, look what we did in 6 months. Imagine what we'd be able to do if we had 4 years under our belt. So the rest is history.
Yeah, and 1 second. Like that'd kind of be inspirational in some ways. Like it'd suck to fail, but it's like, dude.
If you could imagine a tunnel and it was black.
Yep.
after we missed out from Beijing, it was like a little bit more open. And I was like, oh, look, there's a flame at the end of it. Maybe if we just push a bit harder, we'll get to it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like Narnia. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we just pushed out, pushed. Well, I actually don't know how I went from being a fat little pig to this mongrel warrior machine now. I actually don't know how it happened, but something happened in my brain.
Yeah.
Just went click. And I think I didn't want to be boring old Joe in a electric scooter or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong, but I wanted to be an independent person, and because I love going fishing and quad biking, I needed to get a house to put all my toys. So I needed to get my ass in the gear. So.
And Herbie, as a coach, can you talk about how sometimes those it was a failure, I suppose. It was only a second, but can you tell me how you harness failure to try and get people to?
It's a long time ago, but it's probably pretty vivid still that, we were watching on pool deck, and I Scoot and I was sitting on pool deck as all the team are walking around, after the team had been selected, and they're all walking around, and we're sitting there going, this sucks, it'd be really nice to be on that team, or, to be part of it. And I think Brendan Keogh walked past and, said to Scoot, then we want you on the next one, so keep working hard and training. So it was probably, motivation just by sitting there and seeing that, to think, and then that would have been Scoot saying, I want to be part of that. I want to be involved in that. And then we just set up a plan to make that happen. And, that was 2000 and what did we say it was? 2008. 2008, and then 2010 he went over to Berlin for the and that was his first major trip over there, which was just a European championship, I think. But he went over there, got classified properly, internationally classified. Yeah,
that was Herb's first trip, and that's why I'm still going to try and get him on the global team.
That was my first trip and my only trip, but that's another story. So
Ixnay on the book reading name.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say, probably 08 wasn't so much devastating because it only just started. I pretty much got a taste of, we could do this if we work harder, More like 2016 when I missed out on Rio. That was a totally different kettle of fish. But we'll talk about that later if you want to.
Oh, talk about it now if you want. We can do it. About time. No, just kidding.
Yeah, well, whatever. But you ask the next question or whatever.
Okay. Well,
we'll be here all day. I'm playing the Jurassic Park theme song. We're dinosaurs. I'm an armadillo.
Oh, so many lines. Stop it.
So you want to know what the difference between a midget and a dwarf is?
No.
Very little.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I don't get banned after playing this one, Scoot. But anyway.
You might. Don't play it in England, whatever you do.
Yeah. Mate, they're funny over there, the Pommies, eh? Like all the stuff they're shutting down.
Not all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Be careful.
I suppose what you were saying that though, like something else that kind of came into my mind is like, a lot of people, they fall in love with the idea of something. So, you kind of said what really got you into at the beginning is like, I kind of want to lose weight. And people like the idea of anything like that. Like I want to lose weight. I want to get fitter. I want to fly a plane. Like you were saying before, I want to, whatever it is. But falling in love with the idea is really different from getting to the end. Cause like, it means,
and pursuing the idea.
Yeah. It means suffering. It means sweat.
Correct.
But that side of it can be fun though. I mean, that side of, we speak about the journey and that sort of stuff, but that sweating and being in pain and working towards a goal, that's half the fun of getting to the goal. So it's not as if it's, and we set that up, and every year there's just about a trip away that we're trying to get Scoot on. So there's always something to look forward to, or something to come up, and some goal. It's not just, we're going to go to Paris in 2024 and we planned that 12 years ago.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're supposed to be retired by now, but this little turd wants to keep going, so we're going to keep going, and I'll keep going as long as he does. But
I'm planning on pushing him in a wheelchair.
we'll both be pushing each other in wheelchairs, I think. I might even compete by that stage. Yeah. So there's always goals and set things ready for us. So it's not the motivation's not hard for me personally, because I know he wants to get there, so that's easy for me. And he's just, if he wants to keep doing it, and sometimes he comes in and goes, "Oh, it sucks being old," and but we get around it, and he goes, "It sucks being short and small, never be a midget," and all that sort of thing. But we just,
especially when you drop something and you're in the high school.
Yeah. Yeah, just swearing, and not that they wouldn't have heard it before, but anyway.
But oh yeah, so yeah, so I suppose it's just the case of like, accepting all that and making the journey fun. Scoot, what's and this is first I'll ask you, Scoot, but I want you to talk about this too, Herbie. What's better, the achievement or getting towards it? What do you like more? Like, standing on that podium, that'd have to be a pretty good feeling. But aiming for it and thinking, I'm going to get that. That's where I want to go. What's the better feeling? What gives you more?
Well, mate, it's hard to say, because when I got to stand on the podium at Tokyo, that had a lot of meaning behind it. Obviously, I went to London, did medal. I learned a lot of things in London, but one of them was trying to control the uncontrollable. I learned about that. And then also the fear of failure, because I went to London ranked second in the world, and I come out with I was sixth in the final of the IM. So I learned about that stuff. And then obviously Rio, I missed out, and obviously I hated the world. Well, not the world, but I hated certain things to do with the swimming world, because, in life, pretty much in life, life's not fair sometimes, but, and even though, I trained my little butt off, it didn't go my way, and I pretty much had to put that anger and that, disappointment aside. Meanwhile, I wanted to yell off the top of a mountain and tell everyone blah, blah, blah. But it was sort of thanks to Herbie and my parents telling me, if you want to go and go for the next Paralympics, which was Tokyo, you're better off shutting your mouth, going back to the pool in the gym, and not knowing if your opportunity to go to another Paralympics will arise, let alone win a medal. And aren't I grateful that I didn't jump on 60 Minutes and tell everyone what a corrupt system the IPC is, because instead everyone knows me for that little midget or that scooter or whatever they want to call me, that went to Tokyo and won a silver and bronze medal after 13 years.
Yeah.
So that was bigger than anything, just achieving that after such a long duration of work, where a lot of Paralympians normally, if they're good enough, well, a lot of them, they'll win a medal within the first or second Paralympics. I went to one, missed out on the second, and went to the third. And I still, I mean? I still had the same desiration to just plow through. And obviously now my goal is to win a gold and get Herbie on the team. And then I think I'll fall into retirement. Just go fishing, quit work.
Yeah. And mate, what do you do for crust? Like, what's your normal day job?
I work at Allied Bearings and Tools full time. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing that for pretty much 9 years now. So, a lot of the athletes on the team, they don't have jobs, let alone full-time jobs. And to do 9 sessions a week, full-time work, it's very taxing on the body. And my body, I know it looks like, I get around pretty well and all that. And I do get around well, but my joints are lacking in cartilage and my spine is all bent, and it's hard work, me being at work all day, hopping up and down the stool to serve people. And then obviously I need to have a little bit of energy left to perform at the pool. The swimming pool does a lot of amazing things for my body, because if I didn't swim, I'd be a lot worse. But there's a difference between swimming like a social butterfly and put in hard work and getting results. So it is a challenge. But I have what's the word? A big fetish for lots of fast and cool toys. So unfortunately, I need to work so I can run my house and my shed with all my toys out the back. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess it's the lifestyle I like, and I gotta work my ass off to get it. It doesn't get given to you.
Boys and their toys, mate. Boys and their toys. We've all got it. Like, there's no one that hasn't got that. How do you tell the difference between good pain and bad pain?
Well, when it starts affecting your nerves and like sharp, like 2 months ago, my back was playing up and it was like a sharp pain in my back, and I was like, oh, that doesn't. Like it felt like something was going to stop working if I pushed. So obviously, that's when I sat back and rested. But like this morning, I was sore in the pool, probably because I did the mowing and lipper skipping last night. But I tend to warm up for a long time to try and get my body loose. But that was just muscle soreness. So I'm a pretty good judge of character when if it's like excruciating, like sharp pain, compared to just come on, put your ass in the gear, mate, and move it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, all my competitors, they're out there wanting to do the same thing I do. Same thing I want to achieve is win that gold medal. So if I sit here and whinge about a sore back or whatever, I know you need to have rest days or whatever, but you need to also make sure you put in the effort. Otherwise, the gold medal doesn't care if you had 10 rest days or whatever. And, hang on, little Scooty had a sore back. Oh, we'll give it to him anyway. The gold medal goes to the one who worked the hardest.
Talking before about the highlight for me as a coach. Now, obviously, I send Scoot off on all these teams and I get to sit back and watch it on telly back home. But I think, we'd been trying for 13 years to get a Paralympic medal, and then
maybe.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah. So we're trying to get that Paralympic medal, and then for him to do that over in Tokyo was pretty amazing. And it wasn't. We were all at the pub. They put it on screen there. So Scoot's parents were there, and I think his brother was there, and my folks and sister, and a lot of the club kids were all there at the Red Beret. We're all outside watching it and everything else. So. And as he was swimming, obviously everyone's cheering and carrying on, and I'm trying to sit back in the corner out of the way a little bit and just watch the race. And then, he basically won. That was the bronze, I think, wasn't it? The 150 IM. You could tell once he started his freestyle, he was going to snag a medal. So, and that was all good, and everyone was crying and tearing up and everything else. And I was fine until my sister came up, and then basically I just lost it. So it was, 13 or 14 years, and the work that he had to put in, and know the ups and downs that he's had along the way, and then you get to that point and you think, this is pretty damn awesome. There's the sessions and training is great fun, and I don't have to do the work, I just set it up and he does it all. So it's but to just see the result that he got, and there were so many people in that room that day that had so much impact on Scoot's journey. It was a pretty awesome moment. It was good fun. Yeah, and then the next day, I think, or 2 days later, we went to our pool at Palm Ave and had it set up there, and that was for the 50 breaststroke, and we had the whole crowd there, and Channel 7 turned up for this one, so they were all in there, and luckily the event on television was delayed, so I was out the front of the house watching it live on the World Para Swimming website, so I could see what was going on, sort of like 20 seconds before the race had finished. So I'd come back inside, and they're all screaming and carrying on. And they said, "How can you be so calm?" I said, "It's all right. He gets silver." I've
seen the end.
I couldn't watch it with everyone else. It was just too much. So, But is it one of those things? You got no control over it. You send him off in a team, and he's under someone else's guidance, and you're sending programs and that sort of stuff. But you're not there to help him and to guide him along. So he's luckily we've set him up so that he's so independent and knows what he's doing. He can go away on these teams by himself and still get results we need.
And Scoot, is there a camaraderie? Because within the world of athletics and sport generally, clearly you're all in serious competition with each other. Like you were saying before, mate, that gold medal, don't care who holds at the end. But is there a camaraderie between all the athletes that you kind of like deal with there?
You got nicknames from all.
Yeah. But a lot of them, like, I'm mates with the German fella, the Mexicans. I got all like, there's a Mexican who looks like, I call him a pie man, pie truck. And then there's another Mexican that's got a little left leg, I call him a grasshopper. And then the German fella, me and him are pretty close. And then obviously Ahmed did really well at Worlds this year. So obviously he's going to be the one that's targeted now. He's got a target on his back, and all of us are going to be chasing him. But I'm pretty, when I go into, a lot of people in marshalling in the final or whatever, normally they've got the cap on, the headphones on, they're all quiet to themselves. For me, I go and talk to everyone. And it's a bit like, when you watch the Shane Warne thing, how he put people off. I don't mean to put anyone off personally, but like, I don't know, just go and talk to them, get their vibe, see how they're going. Right. If they're sort of threatened, well, I'll know they get a feel that I'm feeling confident and ready to rumble sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm a very open, talkative person. I don't know any other languages. I do my best to communicate.
Yeah. But a lot of it would be like getting to that level. Like you're talking about seconds of difference in between people. So a lot of it's going to be mental. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even myself, making sure when I do the IM, sometimes I'm, diving the water and I'm there on the backstroke strap going, I hope everything works. If you watch my race, I do double the strokes compared to an able-bod, and it's a lot of strokes getting there. And if you stuff up a few, well, that's a lot of. For me, it's more of a detrimental thing because I'll lose probably 5 seconds instead of half a second.
Yeah.
So you really need to be on your ball. And obviously, when you're getting old, I'm getting older now. You don't. It doesn't feel the same. I got all the knowledge there to go, mate, you've done the work, you've done the training, just get in there and go. So just my mental toughness is fine, but obviously because I'm knowledgeable on certain things, I can also understand that the body's getting older too. But I know a lot of people say, don't say that you're old. I know I'm not old like a dinosaur, but I am getting old, but I do still put in the hard work and I want to get results. So I wouldn't be here if I didn't, have the passion and the love for it, I think. I probably like training more than I like racing, to be honest.
Wow. Well,
because racing's up there, especially, like for us Paralympians, we only really go away every 4 years, and then in between we got world champs.
Yep.
And probably more so like myself, I've only got Ahmed to race if we're in the same pool. So, everyone else can sort of race with each other and get a good vibe of how everyone's going, where we should wait till we meet all our competitors in the same class overseas, and then, it's like a good race for us. Yeah. But, it is what it is, and make the most of it while you can. That's what I tell all the athletes. I said, you never know when your time's up.
That's it.
Or something might not work out for classification. I know it sucks for you right now in the moment, but you just got to move on. And if you're not happy, well, find something else. If you want to keep going like what I did, shut your mouth and keep going. But there's no point whinging or complaining because no one will listen and no one cares.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you were saying with the Montreal story, you could be doing what you were told by an official and still somehow it's your fault and you're the one that gets knocked on the head. Inshallah. Like, that's the way it rolls.
I think if you can pack up your bags and get over issue like that, you're a lot better person because you don't sit there and drag about it. Because tomorrow's another day.
That's it, eh? But mate, so is the beard going to go to the next? Is the beard going to the Olympics, bro?
No, he'll probably go to trials next year. Well, depending on what time I need to do. But it'll stay on for as long as possible.
Mate, it's getting that big you could almost name it. Herbie, you could actually start getting. You should start getting a routine going for the beard.
Me as well. Yeah. Nah.
It's all about the story at trials this year.
What was that one?
I cut my beard off, put it in a plastic bag, and put it under as a pillow, and I filmed it.
Pillow.
Sure, you
Looked
got
like a little rodent under my pillow. He thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
He thought it's my pubes. You're all small.
Well, there was that joke that's because you know Matt Shevington when he was running, you know, in those tights, like some people were making observations in regards to, you know, and I remember listening to one of these comedy things about saying that, you know, perhaps Matt Shevington's genitals were going to go off and get a career of their own, like start calling races and stuff like that. Maybe you could do the same with the beard. Maybe the beard can go and get its own career. There you go.
Well, yeah. What do you want to do at shopping centres though when it gets really big, Scoot?
Oh yeah. What?
What do you want to do at the shopping centres when your beard gets down to your knackers again?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna walk around naked, go shopping, look like Father Christmas.
I don't know if you get many kids sitting on your laps with that one day, mate. You know, I don't know how that's going to go.
The hot seals.
Yeah, God willing.
Yeah, this is PG. Keep it low.